So we are back with the VQ35 stroke build, and we're not going to be doing, I would say, anything too major today. The main thing that we're going to be doing is trying to set timing. Now, with that being said, timing is very important. As you guys can see, I do have some extra goodies on. We finally got the correct tensioners. So we do have both of the tensioners on, as well as this one right here that controls the sort of long guide for the chain. We have the water pump on, spinning nicely. We also have one guide in right now. I might go ahead and put the other guide in. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that yet. We'll see here in a second. But we do have new oil gallery gaskets as well. That's one thing I forgot to mention. The old ones, a lot of performance shops, especially when you're building these engines, they really don't recommend you running the old gallery gaskets. They recommend you going ahead running an upgraded set of gallery gaskets, whether that's a regular CZP or Z1. The ones that I have in particular are from EPS Tuning. They make theirs specifically for the front wheel drive platforms. So main thing, like I mentioned, is going to be trying to set timing. Now, with that being said, we do have our timing kit right here. I do already have a few of the tensioners out. Actually, I think I have all of the tensioners out, if I'm not mistaken. And then we do have a few. I need to throw this in the trash up there. We do have a few chains. Now, the smaller chains are going to be for your cams, and the bigger chains are going to be for your, or I say the bigger chains, the bigger chain is going to be for your overall system. So we're going to go ahead and try to put the smaller ones on first. And there's actually a bunch of components that I need to actually get right here beside me. I need to grab these, and I need to grab this, and I think that might be it. I'm sure I'm gonna need some other bolts and stuff, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're just gonna try to go ahead and get this stuff set. I want to get me like a little, here we go. I'll actually sit all my cam gears in here. That way I got all my timing stuff in one place. Alrighty. This is probably one of the more stressful parts. Oh, I'm about to die. This is probably one of the more stressful parts of engine building, is the whole timing. Because you can put everything together right and then mess up the timing and you're screwed. So for these VQs, you do have an oval and an oval and circle side. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like for example, on this cam gear, let me actually get up to the camera so that you can see. On this cam gear, there is a circle and there's an oval right here. The ovals are gonna go on bank 2, which is this bank. The circles are gonna go on bank 1, which is that bank. And so it's the same thing with the exhaust cam gears. You do have a set of ovals right here, and you also have a set of circles right here. Hopefully you guys can see that there's 2 circles, and the circles are gonna go on bank 1. Like I mentioned, the ovals are gonna go on bank 2. Now these things can be a little finicky to actually get on the cams and make sure that you turn and everything, all that type of stuff. So we're gonna do our best. I probably won't do a whole lot of talking, but I do know that for the right side over here, this dowel pin is gonna go in right here, and then my ovals need to be on 1, because even though I have AWT exhaust cam gear, which allows me to do multiple different degrees of timing, I do want it to be stock. Now with the bigger cams that I'm running, I did talk with one of the engineers at JWT. They recommend retarding the exhaust by 1/2 so that I can get the full benefit of the cams. And guys, if I'm sweating, it's extremely hot in here. Extremely hot. So give me a little bit of a break. Now for me to retard it by 1/2, it's gonna look like this. Let me get up here and show you guys again. So most of the time you would want the, oh, stop shaking, buddy. Most of the time you would want, hopefully the lighting will pick it up. Most of the time you would want your two colored pieces of the chain to be on those two dials for the two ovals. Hopefully you guys can see it with that lighting. Well, with the retarded 1/2, mine is going to be right around here. Come on now, work with me, baby. Right around here. So the one is going to be on the top link, and then we're going to have a oval in the center. Now, like I mentioned, I'm only doing this because JWT recommends me doing this so I can get some proper overlap with my cams and get the full benefit of the cams whenever I'm actually using them. With NA cars, most of the time you want to have a little bit more overlap with your cams than you want to have on like a boosted induction, of course, like a stock cams configuration. So we're gonna go with that 1/2 retarded for the exhaust. And like I mentioned, this side is ovals. Now there may be a time during the live that I need to pause it just so I can go and look at my pictures and make sure that I have them exactly how they should go. I should probably be wearing some type of something so that I don't get my clothes all dirty. All right, so the intake is gonna go on just like it should. So it's gonna look similar to this. And you sort of have to flip these out and about very often. So for your intake, you guys can see we do have that gold link on the ovals. Like I mentioned, on bank 2, which is this bank, you're going to be doing ovals. So we do have the gold link on the oval for that bank, as well as we do have 1/2 retarded. Let me get it in the camera. 1/2 retarded for the exhaust. And now we just got to put it up here. Oh, don't fall, buddy. Now the hardest part is just going to be turning these cams. So I might sit this down just real quick for 1 second, just so I can get the cams in the right configuration, because the two dials need to kind of be up. So I need to actually move that dial up a little bit. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, each of these cams has a little dial pin in it. Maybe you can see it from way back there. And the actual cam gears fit on the dial pin. So we're gonna try to turn these over. And I got a feeling that I might have to, got a feeling it's gonna be a little difficult to turn these over. And let's go one more. Just like that. Alrighty. Now we gotta try to push these on. Let me make sure one more time. We do have ovals on this bank. We should be good. And I do have it 1/2 retarded. And I'll go back and look at the picture later just to be sure. Now putting these on is always a bit of a challenge, buddy. Just a slight challenge. I know you guys can't necessarily see what I'm doing, but trust me, it is not simple at all. It's gonna take me a few tries to actually get this on. Because those dials are very, very difficult to get on correctly. There we go. So that one's on. this exhaust cam actually needs to come over some. Let me move that. And where's the dial on this one? So this needs to come up just a little bit, just a hair. Alrighty, I need to turn this just a little bit more. There we go. Now, I'm gonna bring you guys up close so that you guys can see generally what it's supposed to look like. Let me bring you guys up a little bit closer. We got 16 people in here. What's up, y'all? It looks like a big engine, but it's really it's a 3.5 liter that's been bored and stroked to 4.1 liters. So look, guys, and I wish that I could turn my light on. There we go. We got the light on. All right, guys. So as you guys can see, for the exhaust, there's the dial pin on the cams. This is a better look at what each of the dial pins look like on these cams, and they go into the back of the cam gear. But here is the dial pin in the stock configuration for this particular engine. We do have that tooth retarded. And granted, guys, I am in the country, so we do have horrible service out here. But I can't put an image of what it should look like on the screen right now because I'm on live. But we do have that gold tooth. Maybe you can see the dot. Yeah, you guys can kind of see the dot where the gold tooth is. So that's how it should look. And then we just got to do the same thing for the other side, except instead of ovals, this side is going to be circles. So let me sit you guys back up so that we can get back into the nitty gritty. And like I mentioned, guys, it's like freaking, I don't know how hot it is out here, but I am steaming right now. I am steaming, buddy. So on this side, we need to get our other chain right here. This side is going to be circles. So chain to go on like this, and with it being retarded on tooth, it's gonna look something like this. So the one is on the top link for this one, and the one is on the bottom link for this one. What's up with that?
Keith.
For the Acadia?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm going to keep most of the business on there by itself.
Alright. You got it?
Yeah.
Man, you suck at kid.
You still get throwing.
I'll do it right to you. Yeah, so here we go. So the one is on the top one for this one. And whenever you're retarding cams, guys, all you're doing is going counterclockwise. So you can look at the cam, think of this as being clockwise. All you're doing is retarding it. So if you're retarding it one tooth, that means that instead of being right here, it's going to be up one. Instead of being right here, it's going to be down one. So we are one tooth retarded, and we need to put this one on circles. So we're going to come right here, find the circle, and try our best to fit the chain over it. There we go. So let me let you guys see what that looks like. So you guys can see right here, we are on the circle with the gold link. The oval is down here. We're not using ovals for bank one. We're using circles. And then when you flip it around, you guys can see we are on the circles on this side, but we are one tooth retarded. What car is that engine from? It's from a 06 Nissan Maxima. Basically has the same engine as the 350Z and the G35s, but I'm doing it in a Maxima, so it's kind of a sleeper. I've ran against Chargers, Stinger GTs, BMWs, and they all get pretty surprised whenever they get beat by the Max. It does have a 6-speed trans. Like I said, we just added some massive cams. I think The exhaust has 300 degrees of duration. The intake has 13 millimeters of lift, I believe. You can see we do have the high ram intake that was completely custom, as well as a lot of other custom stuff with this engine. Into cars, yeah, yeah, Brody, very much into cars, man. And if I don't get to your chat, I'm sorry. I am over here actually trying to put the thing together. But yeah, we're mainly a car channel. So trust me, I'm very much into cars. So let me check one more time. We do have the circle right here, and we are 1 tooth retarded. Now it's just gonna be a matter of actually getting it on the cam, and that's always a bit of a hassle, especially whenever you can't really see anything. Alrighty, that one's on, and then this has to turn quite a bit. So hold up real quick, guys. I gotta turn this cam a little bit this way. That cam turns so smooth. Let me turn it the other way. Here's the one thing, guys. Whenever you're working with these big cams and you're trying to set timing, sometimes you'll have a piston that's at top dead center, and you quite literally cannot turn the cam because it's hitting the piston. So just keep that in mind if you decide to go down this route. Now, let me try to wedge this thing on real quick. We're almost there. Let's see what we got here. This thing is being stubborn today. There we go. I don't know if you guys heard it snap in or not, but I'm gonna bring you guys down here so you can see what it looks like. Let's see, let's go ahead and get the phone back down. People up in here, what's up with y'all, man? What did you have that maximum up to? As far as power goes, before we added the cams, the exhaust, and the manual transmission, and the high ram, before we did a lot of the upgrades that we have now, as well as like the heads, these are HR heads, it was making right around 330 horsepower to the wheels. So I'm hoping with all these upgrades, I'm hoping we can get up to right around 400 wheel. That would be awesome to get out of a naturally aspirated V6 in. And that's to the wheel, guys, not to the crank. So that'll be pretty cool. What's the fastest I've went? I think the fastest I've gone into max, buddy, might be allegedly in Mexico. I think the fastest I've gone into max might be 150, maybe 140, somewhere in there. It moves, buddy. Thanks, my man. All right, guys. Now, I think my phone's a little hot. Like I mentioned, guys, it's extremely hot out here. Hopefully my phone doesn't overheat and I can't get through with the live. But as you guys can see, this one looks a little bit different than this side because we're going to have to turn both of these cams this way because whenever we actually go to set timing, the big chain, which is right here, this big chain, as you guys can see, does have 3 different links on it. The third one is over here somewhere, right there. And those 3 links go right here. Thanks, my man. We take car photos. I love the love, buddy. Those 3 links, one goes right here, one goes right here, and then crank. It's a little dark right there. It's dark, guys. Sorry, my phone is just so hot out here right now. It's like probably, I would say at least 90 degrees out in this garage. But as far as timing, you can see we do have the circles on this side. And then if you look around this edge, you can't really see it. It's hard to see, man. But we do have the timing set on the back too. And like I said, we do have it retarded one. So if you look, normally the two circles would be right here and right here. We did retard it 1 tooth, which means we turn it counterclockwise 1 tooth. So the circle went down 1, and now we have circle in the middle and the number 1 on that gold link. Now that's real good. We now set up. It's a little bit different when it comes to your bolts and hardware. You do have, I would say, some extra modifications, like for the exhaust cam. I dropped something. Okay, I think we're good. For the exhaust cam, I think it's this washer right here. Don't want to lose that. We do have some copper washers right here. That way that we don't lose oil out of this exhaust cam, and then for whatever reason have low oil pressure. That's not what you want whenever you're building an engine. Trust me, I've had low oil pressure before. One of my old cars, not an engine that I built, just had low oil pressure, and not long after it blew up. So don't want to have that happen with your car. We do want to add a little bit of oil to these threads. So let me actually run over here. I know I have some oil over here somewhere. We do have this. This should work just fine. I do run a bit of a thicker oil on my my car. It calls for 5W40. I mean, not 5W40, 5W30. I run 5W40 just because when the oil gets warm, I want to have a little bit more viscosity. That way I don't drop that much in oil pressure. Like I mentioned, that is not something that you want to do. I'll probably have to set you guys back up because I do need to actually be able to put this stuff together, and I kind of need 2 hands for it. Where am I from, Brody? I'm from good old Wilson, North Carolina. 252, my boy. You know we do it big down here in the NC with the car community and everything. Oh, and I don't know how many of you guys have seen, this is also my bike right here. I do have a Yamaha 1000cc bike, man. So we do the car and the bike content. I got a Camaro outside. My dad got a Corvette. The Maxima was supposed to be the daily driver. I couldn't keep it stopped to save my life. So that's not my fault. Let me go ahead and put these threads in here. That way we can try to get these chains and everything on. Let's see, we need a little bit of oil on the threads, just a little bit. This one goes into the intake. And I think that's gonna be looks like it might be a 19, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, is this my 19? I think this is my 19. And I think that it is a 19. Nice. It might be an 18, honestly. Let's see. The 18, I think it's a 17, actually, guys. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it's a 17. Okay. That's why you always turn things by hand, guys, because if it's not feeling right, you can feel it, and you can fairly quickly make some type of altercation in order to make sure that you aren't cross-threading or forcing anything where it shouldn't go. That's why you always do things hand tight first. Always. And like I mentioned, guys, I'm sorry if this portion of the live, if you missed our few of the other lives, we did some other stuff. Go check them out if you want. Like I mentioned, this one is going to be a bit more generic because we are setting timing. Now, as far as instructions, it does come with these instructions, like I mentioned, you do have to use the copper washer and everything so that you don't lose oil. And then it does have some other washers that go with it. Now, let me put in this other bolt, put some oil on it, put some oil on that bad boy. Alrighty. And let's put the 19 back up there. Now, I don't know how long we're gonna stay live, guys. I'm probably gonna stay just long enough to put the timing. I don't know if I'm going to finish the motor tonight. As you guys know, tomorrow's Father's Day. Shout out to all y'all with dads, man. They're still in your lives. I know everybody has dads. Not everybody still has their dad in their life, but regardless, man, I hope that you guys have a wonderful Father's Day. Y'all have a wonderful Father's Day. Let me put a little bit of oil on this bad boy. Oh, might have got a little bit too much oil on that one, but it's gonna be leaking. Alrighty. So if we go based off of the picture, you guys can see we do have the bolt, the big washer, and then the copper washer. So I'm gonna put this on exactly how it says on the picture with the big washer and then one of these copper washers right here. If I can grab it, put the copper washer on, and then we're gonna thread into that exhaust right here. Now I think it's gonna be a 17 as well. My hands are a little slick right now. Let me grab one of these. And oh, guys, if y'all don't invest in some of these shop towels, these things are lifesavers. You just keep them near you. Your hands get a little oily. You just simply wipe them off. Reach over there, grab a towel, wipe them off. You can keep the towel by you. Some people use actual towels. I try not to. Not really my thing. But to each his own. And before I fully tighten these down, I might pause the live just for a second so that I can go look at this picture, make sure that I got this timing set up right. Alrighty, we got some oil on these threads. And then we got to throw the big washer on. And then we got to throw the copper washer on. If I can get it out, there we go. Nice. And for those of you wondering what happened to my finger, I sliced it, buddy. Sliced it, changing a starter. Ain't that something? So, finger doesn't feel the best right now, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Alrighty. Now, let me pause this live real quick. That way I can go look and make sure that the timing is set up the way that it should be for these gears. You can, if you want to at this time, you can go ahead, pull the pin on your tensioners. It's gonna put some tension on that chain. Now, these tensioners are controlled by oil pressure, so they only put more tension based off of more oil pressure. So you're not gonna get a whole lot of tension out of them, but you can still pull these pins and have them at least pressing down on that chain somewhat. Let me pause this live real quick so I can go and look and make sure. I gotta find the freaking cap to this oil is what I need to do. Yeah, I need to go and make sure that I set this timing up right. So let me pause this live real quick. and go and check that. We're only gonna be paused for a second, guys. Let me read some of these comments. I want to see that Ferrari in your photo. Oh yeah, we take car photos, man. If you go on my channel, I did a review on that LaFerrari. It might be like 15 minutes or so. I can't remember how long the review was. Beautiful car, man. Beautiful car. Go check it out. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Thanks, my boy. Code Noble Crazy. Is that torque bolts? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. We got Andrew Tate in the chat. These bolts right here, but it does actually say that you should them. It actually says with the long bolts, it says torque to 75 foot-pounds with old threads. So these with the instructions, it does say that you should oil them. So I'm not entirely sure. I know with some bolts you don't want to oil. With these, the cams actually receive oil through the cams anyway the whole time. So you kind of want to oil these. I'm gonna pause this live real quick, guys, just because I need to go make sure that I did set this timing up the way that I need it. But we'll be back in probably about 30 seconds. Hopefully you guys will I see y'all. Hey man, I don't know, man. I'm just like I said, I'm just going by what it says to do with the instructions. The guys that have been doing this, they're pretty skillful at it, so I'm just going by the instructions. Let me get you guys set back up because now I need to actually torque these bolts down. I think each of them are supposed to get 75 foot-pounds, so that's gonna be a little bit of a hassle to do. So let me get you guys set down so I can go over here and get my little torque ready. We are gonna be doing 75 foot-pounds. Now I need to put a wrench in here. Actually, let me take this intake off real quick. And set this over to the side. Hopefully it'll stay. Hopefully it'll stay. Alrighty. Let's see what we got. We're gonna set this right here. Stay. And we're gonna try to get 75 foot-pounds out of this right here. So 75 foot-pounds is quite a lot, guys. Quite a lot. And I'm just hoping that the foot-pounds measurement, nice. I'm just hoping that the chain doesn't jump at all, because that's a very real possibility. Here we go, 75 foot-pounds. Buddy, 75 foot-pounds is a lot. 75 foot-pounds is a lot of freaking foot-pounds, buddy. Oh my gosh. Now we gotta do the other one the same way. Hopefully the chain doesn't move too much. Actually for this one, I might take think I'm gonna take this 17 off and put a regular 17 up here so that it doesn't slip off as easily. Alrighty. $75 foot-pounds, buddy. Nice. Now we gotta do the other side the same way. 75 foot-pounds. I'm hoping that this will actually reach all the way in there. It will. Okay. This one right here, it's probably gonna be a little bit, just slightly harder to deal with. But hey, it comes with the territory. Like I mentioned, I'm just trying to be sure that this chain doesn't jump at all. Because if the chain jumps, well, then we got to go and try to reset timing all over again, which is not fun, trust me. Alrighty, let me turn this back so I can actually see. $75, buddy. Good gracious. I don't know if you guys can see right now. I'm sweating. Let me see if we got any questions in the chat. Let's see. I'm working on my engine R. There's nowhere for oil to go, especially when fully torqued. That's what I was thinking too, buddy. I don't know. Let me, we got this last cam right here to torque down. Let's see if we can get it popping. Let me move this back just a little bit. And there we go. Alrighty. Whew. Oh man. We're almost done, buddy. We're almost done. We got like 20 more foot-pounds to go. There we go. 75 foot-pounds on that one too, buddy. Whew. Nice. Alrighty, so now we have the cam gears on. We do have the timing set on them correctly. And we also have the tensioners on. We got all of them torqued down. Now we're gonna try our best to turn this one this way so that we can get a proper timing setup for the big chain. Like I mentioned, my main thing right now, just trying to be sure that the cams don't jump a tooth, which I'm really hoping that they don't. Of course, I can't fully control it, but I am thinking right around now it's gonna release because of the lobes. There we go. But everything turned all at once, which is a good thing. Because I can still see the one up here. So, whew, we are good. Let me try to get this big chain on. Let's see if I got any questions first. What's going on? I have no idea how to read that name. What's my dream car? And what type of engine is it? It's a Stroker VQ35. Put a lot of work and money into this engine, but it's basically a VQ35 that's highly custom, pretty much. It's gonna be the same engine that you can find in your 370Zs, your 350Zs. And the reason I say 370Zs is because it does have the upgraded HR heads on it. You can find this in your G35s for Infinity, whole lot of different places. But just a basic motor. As far as dream car, I think my dream car would probably be a Gen 5 Dodge Viper. Anybody who truly knows me knows I am a huge Viper enthusiast. Absolutely love it. You get a massive V10 engine with that American made sort of name behind it. And then you also just get cool styling, man. The only car that I think I probably like a little bit more than a Viper would be a, what's the name of that car? Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR. Those are some sick cars too, I gotta say. We actually need to turn this just a little bit. This one is on the linkage. That one isn't. So we're gonna turn it a little bit. Hopefully we can turn the whole thing as one unit, not have any issues with chain jumping or anything like that. I'm trying my best to turn it as one unit. Alrighty. Hold on, guys. I gotta maneuver this chain a little bit. This is always the more difficult part to do. Alrighty. Alright. We're gonna just leave that for right now. Just so you guys can quickly see what I'm trying to do. Let me bring you over here. So we have, let's see, what else? That's why I like EVs. What engine is that? It's a, I think I've said this a few times in this video. It's just a stroke VQ, buddy. It is an interference motor. So the good thing about this engine is it does have a lot of aftermarket support, and one of the companies that does a lot for this engine, Z1 Motorsports, is one. Jim Wolf Technology in California is another. Niz Formance is another. There's a lot of different aftermarket places you can go to find information out about this engine. Make sure that you're putting stuff up there that's going to fit the way that it should, the whole nine. Now, with that being said, it is an interference engine, but I did make sure, checking in with JWT in California, that not only should the cams work, but everything I'm doing, because I do have forged pistons. They do have a valve relief in them. If you guys haven't checked out my build video for this engine, make sure that you go check it out. I did a whole series building the engine. I did a whole series doing the 6-speed manual swap. So if you guys want to see sort of the whole process behind stroking the engine, boring it out, the process behind choosing cams, all that type of stuff, make sure that you go check out the build series. A lot of you guys might get a kick out of it. But real quick, this is what we're doing. That's what I was thinking. Thank you for answering my question. No problem, my boy. Thanks for the love, Chris. Thanks for joining the live. Just so you guys can see, like I mentioned, we did have the timing set for the cam gears, but now we got to do the overall timing. I want a 5.0 dual overhead. Yeah, them dual overhead cams, Mustangs, are no joke, buddy. Probably one of the more efficient V8s out of the whole American lineup. I think Mustangs have the most efficiency for their displacement, which is why you can have a Coyote that's a 5.0 making similar or more horsepower than a 6.2 liter Camaro or a 5.7 liter, whatever you want to look at it as. As far as the cams, you can see we do have the colored link on this dot, which also lines up with this line. We do have the other colored link on this dot, which again lines up with this line. This last colored link, which you guys can see, is right there, has to line up with the dot on the crankshaft. Now, I do have a bunch of, I say a bunch, but I do have one more tensioner left that I actually need to pull out and try to go ahead and put on this motor. This one right here, it's gonna be the tensioner that sits, well, I say tensioner, but the guide that sits right here. And then we have another guide that sits right here that I might actually have to get my dad to, excuse me, come out and help me with. Because in order to get this guide up here, you almost have to pull both of these cams in like this in order to create a bit of a divot right here in order to actually drop this guide in. So it can be a little bit of a process, but I do need to grab a bolt. Now, whenever I took this motor apart, I basically just put all my bolts over here, figured whenever I needed them, I know somewhat basically where they go. All of these are somewhat interchangeable, but thanks, Alex, man. I just try to learn as we go, buddy. Anybody can do what I'm doing. I just got the balls to do it, or at least try to do it. This bolt is gonna go right here. It's gonna go inside this tensioner. So I'm gonna sit you guys back up so that I can actually try to get that guide on. I don't know that I'll be able to possibly get the chain down. Like I said, might have to call my dad and get him to help me. I think he might be gone right now, so I might end up having to end the live. But we're gonna see what we can do first as far as actually getting that guide on. We might be in better shape than I think. Let me put you guys back up over here, man. Put you guys back over here. And like I said, if you guys like the content, make sure that you guys just consider subscribing. I'm not one of those people that's gonna beg for subscribers because I want it to be genuine if you decide to subscribe, because I like interacting with you guys, man. So yeah, if you're into the content, just consider it, buddy. You don't have to pay nothing. And you don't get nothing except for a little bit more family, man. A little bit more family. All right. I'm gonna try my best to actually get this, I'm gonna try to get this last link right here lined up with this little dot. I can't really see it. And I kind of need a little bit more out of this cam. Hold on. Let me move this cam this way just a little bit. Enough for me to try to get this thing right here over. Like I mentioned, guys, these are a headache to try to get on sometimes. I think that that's on the dot. I'm not entirely sure. I actually need to get off of this, let me get off this cinder block to be able to check. I need to get a little bit lower. Yeah, it's on the dot. Okay, nice. Alrighty, now we just gotta do our best to get these guys in. Now, when the chain is tight like this, guys, especially whenever you got a fresh chain, this process is unbelievably difficult. And you guys will see what I'm talking about here in a second. So what I'm gonna do is try to turn, I need to turn one of these cams. I think it's probably gonna be, this one needs to go this way. That one needs to go this way. And then this one right here needs to go that way as well. I gotta find me a little load to press on though. There we go. That one needs to go that way as well to loosen it up a little bit for me. That way I can try to put this guide in. Because buddy, it does not want to go in easily. And if you guys can't see anything of what I'm doing right now, I truly apologize, but I'm really trying to make sure that I get this thing in. I really don't want to have too much more that I'm doing on this motor. I'm kind of ready to go ahead, get it back in the car, get everything sectioned out the way that I need it to be. And I did want you guys to see kind of what I was talking about. I know I got a lot of stuff in my pants right now, which sucks. I did want you guys to see kind of what I was talking about. Let's see, since I really like engines, I'll sub. Thanks, my boy Alex. Love you, my boy. What will the new compression change to? I know stock. So stock for this engine, stock compression for the first generation DE is, and which is basically the 2004, the 2008 Maximas. Those are 10.3. The HR heads has a little bit smaller combustion chamber. So for the like 09 to 2014 Maximas, it's bumped up to 10.6 to 1. When I ordered these pistons, I did get 11.5 to 1 compression ratio pistons. So mine does have a little bit more compression than even the stock or HR pistons. So with the smaller combustion chamber on these heads, I would say the combustion ratio might be probably right around 11.7 to 1, somewhere in there. Do I have any built cars? This one right here is it, buddy. This is the built car. Unless you're talking about, and I'm bringing you guys over here with me real quick, because I actually need a hex socket. If you're talking about built cars in terms of cosmetics, the Maxima does have rims, its own lowering springs, K-Sport lowering springs. I didn't want to pay like the extra $300 for the BCs. I think that the extra $300 for the BCs would have kind of been a waste of money, because you're going to get the same out of most of your you're going to get the same out of most of your coilovers. So I didn't want to pay the extra money just for it. On pump gas, it's making it so it's on pump gas and E85. So first, let me finish the cosmetic stuff. As far as cosmetics go, like I mentioned, it's on lowering springs. We do have rims. We do have we had a front splitter. Ended up getting ripped off whenever I was hydroplaning. What else does it have as far as cosmetics go? It does have aftermarket headlights, tinted tail lights. It's outside right now, guys, but it's dark. It does have like a double wing on it, kinda. And the exhaust. Guys, if you haven't seen the exhaust on the Maxima, make sure that you go check out one of the old videos when I got it dynoed. The exhaust on it is insane. It sounds good. We actually have the exhaust. I'm gonna try to give you guys a visual. Instead of coming out underneath the car, the exhaust is actually wrapped around the rear cross member and comes out sort of like how the Lamborghini Performante is. It comes out of the middle of the car. Basically where you guys can actually see right here, kinda. I have my bumper, and you can see where I actually have the holes cut out for the exhaust. I'm still doing some sanding. Got to do a little bit of patchwork right here. But you can see basically where the exhaust comes out. It's sick, man. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure that you go check it out. As far as pump gas or high octane, it's tuned on E85 and 93. On E85, I think it made 330 on E85. On 93, it made like 315 to the wheels. But I'm thinking about running a 93 tune, a E85 tune, hoping that we make 400 wheel. And then I'll probably run a 93 with nitrous tune and an E85 with nitrous tune, because with those cars you can do 5 maps. So and then the 5th map will probably be like a pops and bangs map or something like that. And maybe we'll be able to make 500 horsepower with the nitrous tune. My car is lame. Oh man, ain't no car lame, buddy. Your car is what you make it, man. Your car is what you make it. Whether that means you got a Fiat, a Ford Focus, or if you got a Miata, buddy, or even your little Volkswagen Jetta. Hey man, every car I believe has some type of aftermarket following, and your car is simply what you make it, bro. Think about it, like even with the Maxima, and let me sit you guys back up real quick. Even with the Maxima, buddy, I've gotten so many comments of people saying, why would you build a Maxima? Well, for one, you're not going to see anything else like it. But for two, man, is what I had at the time. I got an Altima, big Altima Energy. I don't know, man, them Altima drivers. Hopefully you ain't one of them. Hopefully you ain't one of them bad Altima drivers, buddy. I don't know about them. But yeah, man, when I first started with my Maxima, one of these days I'm going to do a little progression video on the channel. When I first started with my Maxima, bro, it looked just plain. Like it looked like any other Maxima that you would see on the street. It was lame in a sense. But your car is all what you make it. Now I take it to shows and it gets just as much attention as somebody pulling up in like a GTR or something like that. Like it's pretty cool. The amount of work that you put into a car, how people gravitate to it. Because if you show love in your car, bro, people are going to see that and it's not going to be lame in the sense that you think it is, bro. So like I mentioned, your car, only what you make it, bro. So I suggest, hey, if you think it's lame, do some mods to it. I think that you'll find real quick that it's not as lame as you think, my boy. Not as lame as you think. So real quick, guys, these bolts right here, I already tightened them down for the tensioners and for this guide. Just tighten this guide bolt down. We do have a little bit of tension up here. I don't think I'll be able to get a bolt. I don't think I'll be able to get these bolts in there. I might try. But I don't think I'll be able to, because this guide goes up here like this, and I don't think I'll be able to actually get it up there. I'm gonna try it though. I know, like I said, me and my dad, we usually have to fight this thing. Yeah, see, I might be able to snag that. Let me try it. Hold on. Let me get some bolts real quick. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. One thing you do want to do is make sure that it is riding on the middle of that, you want to make sure that it's riding on the middle of that guide, because if it ain't, buddy, you might be in a world of pain. Let's see what we got. I'm trying to get it just below. I need to get it just below the little thing right here, because it has a bit of a lip on it. Hold on, let me undo it. Like I said, guys, I don't know if I'll be able to actually get this guide on. I think it's going to be a little bit too much hassle to try to get it on without any help or assistance. Let me see. Actually, it might go this opposite way right here. I think it goes this way, guys. Yes, sir. That looks more like it. Oh yeah, we screwing in, buddy. We screwing in, baby. We screwing in. It's still in the center of the guide, which is good. That's what we need. Now I just gotta get my 10 millimeter, which is somewhere over here. Gotta find it. I think this is it right here. That's not it. Here it is. And gotta get my 10 millimeter. Put this in. I'm about to get up real quick here in a second, guys, and look and see if you guys have any more comments and stuff. If you have any more comments or questions, make sure that you guys go ask them because we're probably going to be ending the live here within the next, I'd say, 10, 15 minutes or so. Don't want to put too much torque on these bolts because I don't want them to strip. But I also don't want them to come off. Alrighty. Let me see if anybody has any more questions or anything. Let's see what we got over here, man. I need a V8. Yeah, man, when I tell you, when I got my Camaro, I loved it, bro, because my dad has a 2000 year model C5 Corvette. That front camera is atrocious right now. My dad has a 2000 year model C5 Corvette, manual gear, transmission. Absolutely loved it. He used to let me drive it all the time. So my ultimate goal was to make my Maxima faster than his Corvette, which I've ultimately done now. He's even surprised by it whenever we've ridden in it. Because I wanted to get that same Corvette feeling out of my daily driver. But then when I got my Camaro, and I think my Maxima might actually be faster than my Camaro. I have a 2012, when I build an LS3. Stay tuned, my boy, because I got some news on that. I got a 2012 Camaro SS manual transmission with an LS3. Bought it from a dealer, 48,000 miles on it. I think probably within the first within like the first 300 miles, and it was under warranty. I ended up having issues with low oil pressure. Took it to the dealer. They ended up screwing around. Ultimately, the motor blew up. Brand new car I just bought, 48,000 miles. Motor blew up. They're not trying to pay for it. So I'm going through a little bit of litigation right now to get the Camaro back up and running. But funny you mentioned about the LS3. I actually plan on, whenever I get the money for the Camaro, to go ahead and put a new engine in that car. I plan on doing an LS3 427 build, which is basically an LS3 block, bored and stroked to 427 cubic inches. Sort of doing like a sleeper SS build, because you got to think with 7 liters, you only get that in the Corvette Z06 and the Camaro Z28 from like 2014, 2015. With 7 liters, buddy, that's a whole lot of torque. You can make naturally aspirated over 600 wheel with those. So I'm really looking forward to it. Just gotta go ahead and get the court case finalized. Hopefully we can go ahead and have all that. Hey, my boy OG. Whoa, boy, chill. Hopefully we can have that whole thing finalized, and we'll get the 427 LS3 in the Camaro. And like I said, naturally aspirated, that's gonna be tough. And I'm all about boring and stroking, buddy. That's what this engine is right here. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions before we hop off live, go ahead and let me know. If not, we've been up here for over an hour. Loved every second with you guys. We're all going to be hopping on live probably tomorrow, because I do plan on putting on the timing cover as well as finalizing everything to get ready and throw it back in the car. I don't know if I'm going to get it back in the car tomorrow, because I actually have a performance Mishimoto, I believe that's the name of the company, thermostat coming to help keep the whole system a little bit cooler. Stage 4 cams in the LS3. Hey man, who knows? Just make sure you stay tuned, my boy. It's gonna be crazy. Hold on, my boy Chris, you said something about a Maxima up here. Hold on, let me the Maximas ain't no joke. My friend has a 98 Maxima standard. That thing will bark tires through third. Oh yeah, mine right now, like first, second, and sometimes third, but definitely first and second, buddy. I'm just spinning the tires the whole time. Like literally just spinning the tires the whole time in the Maxima, buddy. And I've heard a lot of people say that the Maximas were actually faster than the Zs straight out of the factory, which I believe it, because they do move. Build something different. It's always a Coyote or LS. I like doing something different. I don't know. The thing is, bro, like, I'm not one of those big YouTubers, so I don't just have money to just throw at builds. You know what I mean? Like, I got to do something that I know can be done and I know that I can do. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to do something like what is it, like a 454 in my Camaro, a big block that nobody has done before, 454 in the Camaro, but I don't have the money to like put that into action, if you know what I mean, my boy. Like, I would love to. Trust me, I'm with the same thing, doing something different. That's why I'm with the Max build right now, because it's different. Nobody's doing it. But I'm not one of those big YouTubers, bro. Like, I'm getting started. You guys see we're almost at 10,000 subs. We're about 3K away. I prefer rear wheel drive too, my boy, because I like sliding that thing a little bit. But we're about 3K away from 10K, man. So if you guys got any boys y'all know, any girls y'all know into cars, man, send them our way. And the more people we get on these type of on the channel, man, the more projects we can get done, and the more cool stuff I got coming towards you guys. But just like that, Alex, Chris, OG, all of y'all that's tuned in, it's been great. Well, you got a new sub here, bro. Can't wait to see. Hey, thanks, my boy. Thanks for the love, Chris. I'm gonna be trying to go live a lot more, guys. For real. Because I like interacting with you guys instead of just over videos. I will have a small video on this coming out soon. But like I said, man. All right, Chris, Alex, I'll catch you, my boy. Like I said, thank you guys for joining. If you like the content, make sure that you consider subscribing, and just like that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.